Are you an idiot? Like I like to think that these two's entire relationship is just asking each other if they're an idiot constantly.
Yeah.
He seemed to get it. It actually all sounded like Greek to Sojiro, but he accepted it as an explanation of her strange actions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh. Well,
やっと着いた。
oh, Sugoi.
Hey, wow.
He'd arrived at the summit of the track. At a height of nearly 200 feet, Sojiro had a bird's eye view of the entire amusement park.
Yeah, really. Jeez.
He was able to spot Aoko's figure right away.
Damn. Good eyes.
I mean, it's the one running away from a horde of shit. It's not hard to spot.
I guess.
There's literally 3 humans here. He's one of them, and the other one's sitting on top of a big fucking moon. Like, not hard to tell which of the humans is Aoko.
Ooh, she seems to be occupied with something conspicuous.
Oh, really? Her surroundings lay still. The breadmen were still busy trying to figure out how to reach Sojiro by trial and error from the roller coaster's entrance. They had over 300 feet of distance to cover.
汗をかくはずだ。こんなに移動したのか。
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it's
No.
some extra words like pop up at the end of that just as I hit the
No, I
confirm
thought
button.
you were good.
The strong winter gales quickly dried the sweat on his brow, but he was drenched underneath his shirt. This much sweat was worth at least a half-mile run, not to mention all the scares he'd experienced throughout the night.
でもよかった。あとは合図を待つだけだ。
Did that say was or wasn't worth?
Was
Was
worth.
worth.
Yeah. So about as much sweat as would you get from a half-mile run.
I mean, this sentence would have worked either way.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
I was like, did I read that right?
Yeah.
He felt a wave of relief, but not at the thought of Aoko destroying the Snark in this nightmarish park. He was simply happy that he could repay a bit of his debt from the House of Mirrors. What debt, precisely?
For fucking up and having that thing go after Aoko, then we were supposed to keep it busy.
Yeah, but then you literally saved her life
Well, he still...
by hitting an automaton with a chair or whatever it
fire
was.
extinguisher. He still feels guilty that he couldn't keep it occupied. Because she almost died.
A blue bullet rose from the plaza where Aoko was located.
合図だ。
Okay.
Sojiro stood up atop the tracks, pulled out the pouch he had stowed in his pocket. Where did you get the pouch from?
She put it in something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
but where did she get the pouch from?
I don't know.
And tossed it forward.
Jesus, that looks dangerous.
Without any regard for his questionable footing, he gave it a mighty overarm pitch. The small pouch drew a parabolic curve in Aoko's direction, quickly becoming untied in midair.
I think it's more of a bundle, like she tied the hair up in a little...
Something.
Yeah. Tied it around itself, kind of, to make it easier to hold.
That would make more sense. You
Yeah.
know, the funny thing about Untied is that it is just a 2-character swap away from being the word united.
Oh.
Which was actually a really funny thing back when we were, like Natsu, Sarge, Elle, and I were still playing like GTA 5 online pretty regularly. There was a feature that came in, it's an old one now, so anyone that's playing currently will probably know about it, but there was a feature that came in where you could like purchase like your own business or whatever and like configure that, and then there was like free mode like activities you could do for it for like money making or whatever, but you got to like name the business.
Sure.
And Natsu went and named his Dyslexics Untied.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Which is to this day I still think about that.
Oh, God.
It's great. Inside the bag was the lock of her hair
there
and
was
a
a bag.
small stone weight. Why is her hair suddenly blue?
Oh, she put magic energy into it, I think.
Yeah, but that shouldn't change the color of it.
Yeah, it will if it's infused with magic.
高いところから風に乗せてくれれば、あとは何とか
With
す
the
るから。
wind.
Like,
He threw it in the way the wind was supposed to go.
So, do you want him to... I want to be very clear about this. Do you want him to actually throw it with the wind, like in the direction of the wind, or into the wind?
Well, it sounds like...
i.e. against the wind, or in the direction that you are, whatever direction that is. Because he definitely threw it towards you.
Yeah, they said hopefully it's okay.
Aoko had said, but it was Sojiro's effort that had set the plan in motion. The tuft of hair that remained airborne, drifting as it watched over its owner.
As if watching over its owner. Okay.
Sojiro's job was done.
Did you look away from Humpty Dumpty?
Well, he's closed his eyes, so technically, yes.
Yeah. I think they meant remaining.
Remained concerned about the egg hovering over him. He remained concerned, is what you wanted there. But there was nothing he could do about it. Oh, you didn't want to replace that he with a his? Sojiro breathed a sigh of relief and leaned forward to watch the rest of the plan unfold. But then... in the corner of his eye, he thought he spotted something familiar approaching Aoko. For some reason, Tobimaru was here!
Or the puppet from the House of Mirrors? Oh.
ルートセット
Route set. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, she's doing the 3-point landing.
Well, she's not landing. She's just making a Full Metal Alchemist circle.
ディレクト1層2層予備に3層魔力提供体現に固定循環よし射角よし術式安定大まかよし
Good enough. Oh boy.
A pattern began to carve itself into the brick street. The casting of an unprecedented incantation with unprecedented range. I don't know, I'm pretty sure a bunch of shit from the Age of Gods has precedent over this. Also,
I guess they mean more than she's used to.
I really hope you're not actually carving this pattern into this, like, into the bricks, because somebody's gonna question that later.
It's fine.
Keeping the rising tension contained within her chest, the fledgling rage snapped her fingers.
決めたツアープランスターマイン
Star Mine.
She kneeled at the center of the formula and raised her head to the night sky. Not even a glimpse of the transmogrified fantasy land around her entered her vision now. Only one thing, one untouchable thing, was reflected in her blue eyes.
実はずっと気になっていたことが
This is how their conversation started a few minutes prior. Sojiro began with a simple statement of fact. In truth, it really was the simplest of discrepancies. Between the reality of an hour ago and the illusion of the present, a difference both infinitesimal and infinite at the same time.
雲があったから勘違いしたんだろうけど
It was something hiding in plain sight. Oh my god, are we gonna Dragon Ball the moon?
Oh, huh.
Something both seemingly impossible in reality and unusual, given its location. In this amusement park where every paradigm had shifted, something was brazenly flaunting its normalcy.
今夜は新月なんだ青崎
Ah,
Oh
the
my
moon's
god.
not supposed to be out.
Oh my god, we're gonna Dragon Ball the moon!
思えば初めっからその形だったものねあんたは
Hold on. Did they ever mention that in the text?
I mean, it might have been. I would really have to go back to previous episodes. I do feel like they mentioned how dark it was when you first got to the park.
I genuinely wonder if at one point during the text they just offhandedly mentioned that it was like the night of a new moon or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they had. I mean,
yeah.
we have a text line. I have no idea how far back this text line
I
is.
would imagine it's many chapters ago. Nah, or... Yeah, not even remotely close to where they would have mentioned it.
Okay, yeah, we're still like...
This is the same, yeah.
That's him on the roller coaster.
Yeah, no.
How far back...
Nah.
Oh, yeah, okay, this only goes as far back as their conversation, so I can't check anyways.
No, yeah, this would have been a while ago.
The distance from the Earth to the Moon was 238,900 miles.
Assuming that's actually the distance of the moon, and not just a small object pretending to be a moon that's much closer.
If it truly was identical to the actual moon, then this monster indeed lived up to its eerie reputation. A distance that far would have meant that it had no need to hide its form. It could flaunt its true form in front of all. But due to the very fact that it was hiding its true form, it meant it must have been within reach. That monster's camouflage implied that it sat within the reach of human hands.
こっちの最大射程はよくて600ってところだけど。
So like 1,950 feet.
Okay. Yeah, huh.
Or about 650 meters. Not even a kilometer.
Hmm.
Barely 65% of a kilometer.
I see.
Approximately. At this point, it was time to give it all she had. Drawing on the energy surging throughout the park, she extended her firing arm.
Ah, okay.
A blue firework launched into the air. Hold on.
So if she can transfer the projectile to her hair after Sojiro threw it, she can use that to get extra distance.
Or use it as like a redirect.
Yeah, maybe.
Like a relay.
Yeah.
Looking up at her hair dancing in the wind above, Aoko reached out her right hand as if to catch the night sky. A mage's own body made for the perfect catalyst. And for a female mage, the hair she'd grown out over many years made for a particularly valuable and powerful source of fuel.
Yeah, they mentioned that in Fate's Day Night, that like a mage's hair is her strength, basically.
To use it, all she had to do was apply her will. She locked the fingers on both her hands together and shouted.
三層展開全術式連結起動
She hurled forth a clear challenge to bind the moon to herself.
Oh.
The mist began to whirl about in a vortex. The monster high above bore its fangs at the sight of the blue spell that appeared in midair.
見抜かれたですって
By the time Alice had noticed the change, the hostility between Aoko and the Snark was palpable.
そうなら青子の勝ちよすぐに戻りなさい
Hey, don't die. Get the fuck back here.
Right.
確かに雨雲を消したのはヒントが上げすぎだけどそれぐらいは多めに見てスナック
Excuse me. I said come home.
Yeah.
The fog continued to thicken with no sign of abating. The moon that floated in the night sky could not pardon such an insolent mage. As if the Lord of the Night would bow down to such impudence. There was no staying its wrath at a challenge so flagrant.
スナック
Fuck you, bitch, I'm the moon. I don't listen to nobody. The robin swooped in to give its report, but Alice waved it away. Her gaze was fixed on the transforming golden moon. Her calls of restraint did not reach it. This fairy tale monster was beholden to nobody, and it would have no qualms unleashing its vast might upon its puny prey. The core of her magic bullet howled. The magic circuits within her body spun. Aoko fed the magical energy, scorching her nerves with imaginary flame.
Ooh.
She was linked to the formula inscribed on the ground. The spell was read and executed at the same as it always was, but its output was beyond reckoning. With this much firepower, even this mundane process would invite injury upon its caster. It was enough to burn up the nerves that were acting as the barrel.
That'd be bad.
でもいける
The imaginary heat had reached a terrifying temperature. Aoko trembled at this endless feeling, but would have to grin and bear it lest their efforts come to naught. Aoko could no longer move. When she'd learned the Snark's true form from Sojiro, she gave up on any superiority a movable turret offered. Instead, opting to become a stationary cannon.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That was the only way she could reach it. It was impossible to hunt the Snark unless she anchored her crest at this location and angle. At the same time, this action revealed that she was out of options. Once the fuse was lit, she would have no choice but to fight to the bitter end. Aoko took a deep breath. This was the way she wanted it. Her preparations were complete. She'd be able to deliver this maelstrom of magical energy directly to the moon, like a rocket payload. The third layer, floating in midair, served as the cannon's muzzle and sight. It would fire the magical energy once it reached criticality, and it allowed Aoko to adjust the angle of fire.
Whoa.
The moon became warped within her scope. As Aoko charged her magical energy, the ploy displayed its golden form, as if to mock her. Come, worship the heavens, powerless scion of an innocent bloodline.
Jeez, okay.
For there it was, a point among the otherworldly sky, a mystical visage obfuscated by jade mists and azure clouds. Called the greatest treasure known to the world of magecraft, a rarity more valuable than an entire kingdom, Crown Phantasm.
Dang, gonna have to look that one up later. Ooh, an upside down skull. Oh god, the moon's just its eye.
Set apart from the very beginning, the world's greatest fabrication.
Here, I'll look it up. Oh, he's not quite ready yet.
Okay, that doesn't actually resolve to anything.
Oh,
It resolves to Crown Undertaker, which is Darius Ainsworth's
well, we'll look it up later.
Phantasm. And then Noble Phantasm is the next thing up.
Well, yeah.
So
okay.
unless this thing is like legitimately a Noble Phantasm.
I'll check later. Oh,
Her instinct screamed at her to delay no further. This fairy tale monster was the greatest of its kind, and its true form was about to be exposed. Its open hostility indicated that it was making preparations for a counterattack. Yeah, but if you're not at full power, it might not work.
right, so you don't want your shot to fail either.
She had to shoot it down first. Magical energy was at 80%. The formula was operating normally. All that was left to do was pull the trigger. But the calm voice inside her head asked if that was really okay. She had one shot at this, and there was no going back. It was a battle of precision with no room for miscalculations. Even a tenth of a second of hesitation would tip the scales. Was she ready for the pain? Was she ready to deal with the fallout if she missed? could she really even take down the moon with such a tiny bullet in the first place?
いい。とりあえず当たった後で考える。
Here you go.